Team is on top of the NSIC conference. I'm Rob Clark, joined alongside head coach Lori Meyer. Coach, team really having a strong season, over 30 wins on the year. What have you noticed about this group from the start of the season to now?
I think it's just that the growth and the development that they have made. You know, our freshman class was a good recruiting class for us, and they've come in and they have pushed upperclassmen, and the upperclassmen have embraced them. So we've really been able to blend that together. And I also think it's the strength of schedule that was put together. You know, last year we were dinged a little bit, not having a real strong strength of schedule when it came down towards the end of the season, and so okay. And so we opened up with our dome tournament with, you know, Minnesota, Duluth, and Concordia. St. Paul's not quite having the year that they had planned because their number one pitcher got hurt, but she's back pitching full games now. I just saw this past weekend, so I think you can't overlook them coming down the stretch at the conference tournament from that. And then we went down to Washburn University and played in their tournament, and then we went down to Shawnee, Kansas, and played in the Midwest Collegiate Classic, which has a lot of MIAA teams on that. And I think going down there, you know, we went 3-1 at Washburn, had a good win over UCO, Central Missouri, and then we went down to Shawnee and we went 1-5, but we had one-run losses, you know, which could have gone either way, and they always happen in the 6th, 7th inning. But I think what that schedule did, and I kept telling the team, is keep believing in yourself. We're good. We're a solid team. That strength of schedule is going to pay off dividends. Then we went to Florida. We went 10-2, and then we came back and we started conference. And I really, truly do think, you know, we weathered some of those hard losses, like I said, down in Shawnee, Kansas, and played a good competition, and we're in one-run games and where things are tense at the end and fun. And that's paid over during our conference run here, that we've been able to go 18-4 and sitting, you know, like I said, you know, one game out of first place in the conference with 6 conference games to go. That really is probably going to determine the conference championship.
And then when you look at this group, the lineup 1 through 9, teams hitting around 300. How big has that really been to this team's success?
That is big, because if you watch us at the beginning of the year, we started out really slow with hitting. you know, and our defense has always been there, and then our pitching was carrying it. But again, they just have bought in, and they trusted the process. They trusted themselves. As you know, with hitting, it's hard. You can't get too high, too low. You really got to keep that even keel about yourself, because there's a lot of failure in this game, right? If you're 3 for 10, 4 for 10, you know, if you're a basketball shooter, I don't want you. Is that the way you shoot free throws? You're not going to be in the game when it's on the line at the end. Where here, that's been good. So I just really think, again, there's been a lot of belief in themselves. They've gotten confidence. We've been able to garner get on some nice runs with some wins, and you know, it's a combination of our game. We can play the short ball, okay, the small ball with our bunt for hits. Okay, we can hit the home runs, and we can drive the gaps. And so it's just a combination of that. If you really look through our lineup, and it's a variety of who steps up from time to time. Sometimes it's the top part, sometimes it's the middle, it's the bottom part that gets us going. And so they just feed off one another. And I really think that's really our offensive game. You know, we've just been able to stick. They've been able to stick together, and they've been able to do it physically, but also I think the really bigger thing is they've been able to do it mentally and emotionally, because that's hitting. I mean, you played the game, and hitting can be so frustrating.
We've seen this team over the years have a really good pitching staff. How does this year's group really stack up against some of those that we've seen in the past? You
know, in the past, we've always had a really dominant number one, okay, like a Coley Reese and a Mackenzie Ward, Michaela Humberster. You know, this year, it's varied. At the beginning of the season, it was, you know, Sailor Hall, Maddie Oltzman, and now coming down the stretch here, it's been Brianna Stone that has really stepped it up. And so we're different than that. When you talk about having a Coley, having a Mackenzie Ward and stuff, they were dominant strikeout pitchers. You know, they were averaging anywhere from 9 to 12 strikeouts a game. We're not that type of staff. So we're going to put the ball in play. Okay, we hit our spots. We got good spins. We use our change-ups. Okay, and we use our defense. And our defense has been really phenomenal this year. Our defense has been really great, and it seems like whenever we need to get out of a tough situation with runners on base, an outfielder will come out with a fantastic catch, or the infield will come up with a great snag, or we can turn a double play. I mean, the amount of double plays that we have turned on our infield, again, you know, some of that's just due to how we're calling, setting up our hitters and going from that. So we have to have that solid defense behind our pitching staff. And now there's just such confidence in our pitching staff, and there's such confidence from the pitching staff into the defense that you know, things have been really successful for us.